All right, call it California dreamin'. The state has the highest income tax in the country. But if the Golden State were to follow in the footsteps of states like Texas and eliminate their income tax, California residents would still be taxed a lot more. How does that work?
A whole lot more, in fact, says Chuck DeVore, VP for Policy at the Texas Public Policy Foundation. He's here to explain the whole arrangement to us. Chuck, good morning. Thanks for joining us. So I was just reading that California has a 42% higher tax burden than California. Can that be true?
Texas.
I mean, rather than Texas.
Right, absolutely. At the state and local level, California takes about 42% more of the income than is the case in Texas. And it's so high that if they got rid of their state income tax, which is the highest in the nation, has the highest tax bracket at 13.3% since they raised taxes last November, then they would still tax more than Texas. In fact, if California got rid of their property tax or their sales tax, they would only be slightly less than Texas. And why is this important? Well, you had the president in Texas last week talking about jobs. And if you look at the two biggest states in the country where 1/5 of Americans live, California is the most like how the president wishes to govern, right? And so how many jobs have been created in California since he's become president? Well, on a per capita basis, Texas has created more than 10 times as many jobs as has California. So I don't think that high tax thing is working out very well for them.
So what do Californians get for their high tax burden other than nice weather?
Well, that's a great question. They get a lot of regulations. You know, with all of those bureaucrats working at the state and local level, they also have among the highest regulatory burdens in the country. There was a study on this done when I was in the legislature in California. I served in the state assembly there for 6 years. There was a study on this done that indicated that the average small business in California pays about $134,000 per year in regulatory compliance costs. That's what the burden of government does for the Golden State.
So one of the reasons Texas is booming, of course, is energy. We're in the midst of a nationwide energy boom, and it turns out California could participate in that boom. They haven't so far because they may have about 2/3 of the nation's shale oil underneath the land in the center of the state, but they can't get to it. Is this right? Because of political prohibitions against it.
Well, this is absolutely correct. What's happening in California is that they want to regulate the oil before it even comes out of the ground. There's been a move afoot to curtail or even prevent fracking, which is the technology that has really revitalized the Texas oil and gas fields. And once it gets to the surface, they want to tax it even more by increasing taxes on oil and gas. This has been going on for quite a while. When I was in the legislature in California, I had a bill that would have opened up the first new offshore oil lease in California in 40 years. It actually passed the state Senate, but the Sierra Club and other environmental groups squashed it when it got back over to the state assembly.
Chuck DeVore, you're the VP of Policy for the Texas Public Policy Foundation. Thanks for explaining all this.
Thank you.